just playing on the stream.
Hello, and welcome to Jarviskjir Rock of the North, Chapter 2, Session 3, I think?
Yeah.
Here we are. We're here. We are here. Here we are. Last week, I kind of mentioned it. It was just a very comfy session, kind of exploring the land of the Wood Elves, where your current new mission is. You know, you spent the entirety of last season up in the frozen north, the like top third of Jarviskjir, and even then, only really in like a kind of a very specific bubble. That season was over a very short period of time in a very specific place. Now, you are in the heartlands of Jarviskjir. This is a place much more connected to most of the civilization that goes through the world. It's warmer. It's trees. It's elves. What more do you want? You kind of used your intuition to ask some questions, work some things out. You spoke to a diplomat who kind of gave you the lowdown of the situation. This Fey Forge you've been told about is actually essentially a rebel fortress that was once part of the country of Aradia, the Wood Elven country, but has seceded over what seems to be some interpersonal drama rather than like a civil war or anything. And so as such, Aradia is actually like pretty much fine with it. They don't really mind because stuff, you know, trade continues to flow and etc, etc. But reportedly the culture is grown quite different, and so the fortress that was called Fafamel often now calls itself the Fey Forge. You also got a whole bunch of more information from a tabaxi called The Stars in the Skies. Just a whole bunch of random knowledge, basically. Just a whole like smorgasbord of facts and fictions. Your mission is, of course, to work out and stop a plot from the Usurper Elves that will intensify the war on the surface. According to the Stars in the Sky, there may or may not be someone hiring mercenaries, but not elven mercenaries or human mercenaries, some other mercenary force out there in the world that might be all connected to this. You don't know. You're going to need to poke around and find out. Also, you did find out that there is a pub crawl through the city. That's also important information. Other than that, I think it's all kind of up to you guys what you want to do. It is late evening now. You have just left the Stars in the Skies kind of information shop. The door is closed behind you. You are in the street. The stars are out. The lanterns are flickering. There are moths pitter-pattering around the lantern posts. And it's very quiet. You are kind of, you know, still within the city of Aradia, but again, it's a very quiet, quite sparse city. You know, you can hear the sounds of maybe a tavern in the distance, the sounds of a stables a little ways away, but it's, you know, it's more the sound of being in like a countryside village than like a middle of a big, deep metropolis city. What is your guys' next move? You're all together, you didn't split the party. What's the plan?
I mean, there is a pub crawl.
There is a pub crawl.
Yeah.
There also might be like a war on. But there is a pub crawl.
Snow suggests to the group that he has a plan, but that we should discuss it over a beer in the first bar in the pub crawl.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I concur. That's not the wrong suggestion. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And I don't know. Is Samuel coming with, or is Samuel going to be like, I'm going to bed? I can see I can see Sabriel doing that.
Yeah, Sabriel is probably just gonna peace out now that you mention it. Like, I was gonna have Sabriel just be NPC mode, but yeah, Sabriel is probably just gonna go back to the Moonbrook.
It's better this way, because Sabriel wouldn't like Snow's plan.
Oh,
that he's about
that
to
is
suggest.
the thing. You're about to start a whole new quest. It's a very sensitive time right now, and Dad number 1 is not here, and Dad 2 is down for whatever chaos is about to happen. So you can head off towards the first part of the pub crawl. Anything you want to say?
I was to say, I am pretty keen at gathering information from the local townsfolk too. So we might gather some more information by at least partaking in 1 or 2 of the pubs. I mean, I'm not saying we got to do the whole crawl tonight. We could, time ourselves. Responsibility. Drink responsibly.
The other half, he just looks at all of you. His eyes kind of narrow. This is not the time for drinking.
It's late. There's so it's like it's late. There's nothing we could really be doing anyways.
It's true. I mean, it doesn't seem there's anything else really.
We're not suggesting that we go get drunk right now. We're suggesting that we go sit down, maybe grab a bite to eat, have a beer, maybe 6. We don't know. We don't know where the night's gonna take us.
Maybe 6.
And then we're just gonna discuss the plan that we could then bring to Sabriel in such a way that Sabriel won't immediately stab one of us.
If it helps, I can tell the plan because, the after effect, because Sabriel would never hurt me.
You're right. We should make Pete
That's
do it.
true.
That's the first step in the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, is the party gonna gravitate?
He just looks at you silently and shakes his head.
Yes, let's go to the first pub on the map.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely could pick up a map of the pub crawl too, but
Like a
actually
tour
at this
map.
first location. Yeah, it is a tourist activity. The first pub on the pub crawl is actually more on the western side of the city, right, relatively near the coast. It's right by a larger part of the river. There's a large water wheel, and that is, what the tavern is known for. Also, quite proudly, it would actually say on the street outside of it, on this actually golden blazoned plate on the floor, that it is the first stop on the Golden Tree. Despite that, it's very much like a quiet, kind of even homely pub, but alive and aglow right now. With warm light flowing out of the windows, the water wheel creaking. And plenty of people from the more commercial parts of the city coming in to have their drink. Compared to the pub that you two were at last time, this is much business. This is a city tavern. It's still a wood elven tavern, and it's kind of a little relaxed. But there is an atmosphere. It is lively. There is actually quite a bit of music playing, and there is, the advertisement of the Golden Tree. You can easily come inside. Or do you want to go inside? Or do you want to sit in an outside beer garden? What's the plan here?
Let's sit outside. That way there's not as much noise to talk over. Is there an outside bar? Do we go in to order? Or if we sit outside, is it like they're coming out to check on the tables out there? Or how does that work?
It would be one of those things where you can sit outside and, a bar maid will come out and kind of check what you need and if you're okay every now and again. So you can get, some honey meads, some sweet treats. Very much seems to be the specialty here is sweets and sweet alcohols. You gonna order a mead for the whole table?
Yes. And 5 of whatever your dinner special is, please.
Right. That will be altogether. It would actually add up to a gold and a half.
Okay.
for everything.
Vincent will give her 2 gold.
Yeah, and
Change.
there's a big smile on the barmaid's face, and you can sit down at this quite large table outside. There's enough of like the walls of the beer garden. They're quite big brick walls with kind of plant life growing over them that you're actually kind of secluded from the street. You have the hum of the tavern. You can hear the tavern music kind of playing through the windows, but it's not too loud to have a discussion over. And, periodically you'll have mead brought over and, a very comfortable meal of, I was going to say glazed nuts, but I know if I said it, that Quill would have smiled. So, it's not going to be that.
No, me too, Al.
Yeah. Very simple sort of meal. Mostly foraged goods, maybe even some things traded from further south, etc., etc. All kind of passed to you over and over. It's almost like a tapas kind of thing, actually. You'd be getting a little bit every now and again coming in. So you can begin your planning and scheming.
All right, Snow, the floor is yours. Also, to the betterment of the spirit. And Vincent will chug his first mead.
Yeah. So yeah, Snow would do the cheer, and then he would say, well, I just had an idea. These people we're looking for are looking for mercenaries, right?
True.
We should try to make a name for ourselves and see if we can get recruited as mercenaries.
Adahar puts up a hand. Perhaps not all of us.
Yes,
It
they might see right through one of us at least, unfortunately. Perhaps 2.
I wonder if maybe there's some sort of fighting ring or something where we can make a name for ourselves, or even just ask around for mercenary contracts.
Just a moment. And Vincent will stand up and he'll walk in the bar and pull out his deck. You see him pull out his deck of cards as he walks in. And all right, who wants in?
All right. You want to find the answer to your questions?
Yes.
You can
Let's see if there's anywhere that we could like maybe step into a ring or something to kind of get our name out there to get scouted.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a mercenary.
This place is mostly, wood elves, right? So playing a game of cards with the human is a bit of fun, though. It's not. You spend a lot of time actually in Thundral, and there it's a lot of like, look at the human. This is a lot more relaxed. The wood elves seem to a lot more comfortable with humans. But you can easily pick up a little bit of chatter when you're like, oh, I'm looking for a fight. And absolutely, near the docks there is a well-known brawling community, which will be mostly brawling other people, but it is a good way to get a little money if you're good at unarmed combat, especially. And notably, magic is allowed. You're just not allowed to bring in like a spell book or anything. But if you have like sorcery, it's fair game. When it comes to actually like fighting pits and fighting monsters, well, that does happen, but that's more of a kind of underground thing, unless you're willing to travel south. The town of Nelmillion is in essentially a wild zone that the wood elves allowed to grow out, and they allow what other cultures would consider monsters to live in the swamps and the more dense jungle areas, and very often people are hired to go and gather reagents, skins, hides, all that sort of things for wizards, herbalists, etc., etc. So that sort of thing would be more that way. And when it comes to mercenary work, honestly, anywhere, kind of in the edge of the city, you'll find like notice boards of work. If you're a small group, there's not so much work for like a very large company here, so it's largely small groups, which is kind of what the Wood Elves kind of thrive on a little more.
Okay.
So
After a little bit, he'll walk back out with another mead in his hand, just cheering back at the crowd as he finishes the last drop of that one, sets it down, and walks out. All right, so we have some options. We can go south. There is a wild land there where the Wood Elves have some sort of monster fighting ring. On the docks here, we can go and we can battle each other with full garb and magic. Just no accoutrement. Or we can look at the message board, and there's some stuff for smaller groups there.
do you think from the message board, could we find what groups might be active in the area? Maybe one of the small companies in the area is connected to the ones we are looking for.
Maybe.
I mean, it's worth a shot.
We could try to find one tonight and see if we can drink our way into their company.
I mean, I'd imagine mercenaries are probably out getting drunk a lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
Isn't that
Actually,
half
yes.
the point of being a mercenary?
Snow would like go over to the window, one of the windows looking in. He's actually just gonna look around the bar. Is there any group that looks like they could be mercenaries?
You can give me a perception or insight check. This is an insight
Okay.
check.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Insight it is.
Honestly,
Okay.
this is kind of the part of the world where it looks like a lot of people could handle themselves. You know, anyone who doesn't look like they've been working in like a shop has, you know, like maybe a short sword or a bow on them. A lot of people are wearing what would be considered like a padded gambeson or whatever, like counts as leather armor. This would seem like, you know, Adelhard's wearing. You don't see anything in the way of like a large company. You feel like if a large company was in any of these places, though, they would dominate. Like, you'd realize it would be quite dominating. Even a large adventuring group, like bigger or more boisterous than yourselves, can be a lot. Like, you guys are deliberately being subtle, but kinda subtle as you can be.
we're a dragon, dog, human, and giant in a city full of wood elves.
Now remember, you're outside of you know, the Sun Elf land now. Everyone just considers Peep to be a rat.
Fair.
Peep is just a little disease carrier now.
Yeah. I guess Snow would like
I'm a
look
good
at the
boy.
group and Snow would look at the group and be like,
I'm kind of wanting to check out the shore.
Yeah, I'll is the note today. I would like to see the docks here.
yeah, where the fighting ring is.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
might get a better look at other people's abilities and capabilities.
Yeah. Snow would be like, if we go now, maybe we'll bring some good news back for Sabriel in the morning. And the Snow looks like he's enjoying this idea. He's like, yeah, think about that. What if we came back and for once we had a lead? Then Sabriel would he trails off.
I just think Sabriel will be so excited he couldn't stand it.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, we all maybe have a little buzz and we just walk because we're gonna go off towards the docks now.
Mm-hmm.
Adelhard would not have finished his drink. He's deliberately staying sober. Someone has to.
It's a note. And so far, by the way, as well, the rest of you are not like mechanically drunk. This can be useful in a fighting pit, and maybe you'll want to do that more later. Actually, going to the Irradian Dock District is much more the kind of place you're comfortable in, Adelhard. It is a wide docking area, and even so, for the next even mile or so, perhaps, is buildings that support the docks in one way or another. There's a lot of warehousing, a lot of businesses that assist, and there are ships at sea, docked from all over the place. A lot of Irradian ships, a lot of things that you would kind of recognize. Some ships that, are from all sorts of different cultures, and so, even at night, docks are always busy and bustling. You actually got a better lead on the fight, the brawling pit, than I think most people would. So you'd be able to find it. It is just about illicit enough. It's a bit of an open secret. If you actually asked around here, you probably would have found it. But it's not like advertised or anything. It appears to be under what looks like an old, disused lighthouse. But it's kind of, but our lighthouse is a bit more on the shore. That's where the entrance is. They've got other lighthouses and guard towers actually further on the docks now. This maybe was a lighthouse before the land straight up changed. Elves live a long time and the land changes. And, and you guys show up as a group of soldiers. There is an elf at the door who kind of looks over the lot of you. And there's something about them that, you've only spent like a short amount of time with the wood elves that speaks to you as being a little different. Their skin is very kind of rough-hewn, and they have very short hair and a kind of like slightly piercing blue eyes, and like hide armor looks like it might have been made of some kind of insect. And they kind of look over at a lot of you and kind of nod to themselves and be like, "Yeah, you're good." And we'll just kind of like open up the heavy door with a and you can already hear the kind of like din of the crowd as you kind of walk down a fairly tight little twisting stairwell and open up into, what probably would have been connected catacombs and like wine cellars in these warehouses and things. Maybe storage room for the soldiers and lighthouse above. But it is like a bustling fighting pit community. There's a lot of people in this entrance area talking about the fights, taking bets, that sort of thing. But there's also I don't know if I'll find any music that kind of sounds like it should be for a fighting pit. We'll keep trying. This will do for now.
How much? Yeah, Gwent music.
Gwent music.
Is there how much, like, just rough like terms, how much money is being passed back and forth? Is it like big sacks in some bets, or is like
you're seeing like coin purses,
okay,
probably the amounts, 20s to 50s, maybe the occasional 100, being passed around, sometimes quietly, sometimes loudly, put on like a counter. There would be tellers, and they're like kind of counting and like noting who's betting on who, and then there's glass. And then behind that glass is the actual like arena where you can stand around it, and it's exactly what you'd expect. It's like a circle. There's actually a pillar in the middle of like stone, and it's sand and dirt. And there's actually two people brawling right now. There is a dwarf and what seems to be a half-elf kind of brawling. And the half-elf is kind of dodging and ducking and weaving, and they're both unarmed, but and it seems like the dwarf is losing, but at one point they seem very cocky and they kind of stand still, and the half-elf like kind of lunges forward, and the dwarf had basically been drawing a symbol on the ground with their foot, and just this wall of kind of reddish light appears, and the half-elf kind of clonks into it and gets like probably a little bit electrocuted because like and tumbles to the ground, and there's like a bit of confusion and like like excitement from the crowd, and some people are like and the crowd is a wide variety of people, sailors, people from the city, but also, you know, people who are probably outsiders, but they stay here for a while, they make a pretty good living, you know. There is like a poster on the wall about, you know, the spring contest, and it's bustling and busy.
Snow would look at the group and be like, "Do you guys want to make some money?"
I'm so in.
This is hand-to-hand combat, right?
It's hand-to-hand combat, but magic without any kind of implement is allowed. You're not allowed to take anything into the ring other than yourself. So if you are someone that can cast magic without any kind of implement, then you're good, which isn't many people. I mean, I think Vincent and Peep can, and Snow's barbarian abilities work. You would have a little bit more trouble.
Yeah, no, he's staying out of this.
Well, so
we still haven't seen Adelhard in combat. Who knows what Adelhard's gonna do at some point?
We have Snow would like, if Adelhard kind of looks hesitant, Snow would be like,
No, he just looks skeptical.
if we're trying to draw attention, it may be best if you didn't draw too much as well. But well, I don't know. Our enemies, they may have heard of all of us by this point. Anything we do could be a risk.
We should operate under the assumption they haven't, just in case they haven't. And if we distance ourselves from Adelhard, and he looks at Adelhard, then you can kind of keep a watchful eye over us.
That was the plan, yes. I chat to some people. Then he looks over to like a group of sailors or something.
Yeah, there'd be like a group of clearly sailors in the port who are here to enjoy their time, you know. You're like, yeah, okay, my people.
So like look at Peep and then look at Vincent and say, should we see if they have group fights?
I think so.
Let's do it.
Okay, Snow's just gonna go over to like one of the counters, the one that looks like the place where you would sign up to fight, if there is one.
Oh yeah.
And basically just like slam his hand down and be like, we want to fight your strongest fighters, the three of us.
Vincent will walk up behind him and put 5 gold down and say, 5 gold on us.
Oh.
The master of the fighting pit here is a pretty old looking wood elf. You know, they got a few scars. They've got like a big nick out of one of their ears. Their hair probably would have been quite big, and you know, when they were younger, and now it's pretty short. And they just look over all of you like, usually we do tag teams for this sort of thing, but maybe I could convince one of the other tag teams to team up with a random, and you'll have a proper fight. I think the Harlequin probably would. Maybe they'd give you a run for their money on their own, but they'd definitely be interested.
So this is out of character. Here's the thing, Snow doesn't have any money, but he wants to earn some.
Yeah, you would earn money if you win, for sure.
He kind of wants to put something on the line, though. Oh.
Look, well, tell me your names. No, tell me your. Don't need to know your names. Tell me the name of your trio.
Ooh. Oh, we got Snow. Like we huddle together real quick.
Which is pretty funny because people just down there.
Yeah.
Giant scales.
Ooh, I like that one. Giant scales.
What about Vincent? You worship a dragon, do you not?
I do.
What about giant scales of the dragon?
I like it.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay.
We're like 6 in. This is a great idea. There's no way this goes wrong.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
How much like? Oh god, I don't. Oh, Snow's gonna do something dumb.
Yeah.
He's gonna look at them and be like, how much? Like, what are the odds against us? I get like, I don't know. Like, if he
You get a
puts
cut
something
of
down-
everyone who gambles. The winner gets a cut of all the money gambled. So you want a good show. You want a fair show. You want
What if I bet
betting
this
against
and he
you
slaps?
and on you?
He slaps his armor. What if I put that on the line?
The quartermaster here looks at it and takes a moment. Alright. You wouldn't be the first person to fight in that pit nude.
Yeah.
So
So
we're
take
allowed
his.
to wear our armor.
Yeah, not really like any effective armor.
Okay.
Yeah, Snow takes off his half plate, which is worth a lot, and he's gonna put it down. He's like in his head, this is a great idea.
Okay. Well,
So we're disrobing down to just bare.
just bad, no weapons, no armor. Clothing and like jewelry is
Right.
fine. You're brought into a little sort of preparatory zone where there's a couple of other fighters kind of getting ready. You have no idea who you're facing yet, though.
Vincent will pluck the holy symbol from his shield and put it around his neck.
Snow is just stretching.
Pete wiggles out with the chainmail. It's like that scene from Sinbad where it's just like, all right, well, here's the great sword, then here's the halfling great sword, then here's a short sword, then here's a hand crossbow.
Yeah.
Well, right before we go in, Vincent's going to place his hands on Pete and on Snow and just blood and sacrifice for glory. And he's going to bless all 3 of us.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
You ready to step in?
Yeah. 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 How big is the crowd? Is it like 100 people?
It's not
a couple
100. I'd
people?
say around 40 people, probably.
Okay. Okay. So it's not
in
so
the
it's not,
room.
like,
Maybe
super-
a couple more outside of it. But it's clearly like respected little fighting pit for people who do it.
Okay.
Okay. You could step inside the ring, and there would be a little gnome who's standing up on a box and be like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we got some new fighters for you today. New fighters, absolutely new, never been in the ring before, and boy, do you have a treat. You've never seen anyone like this. There's one big, one small, and one like medium, completely average sized. And I can tell you, this won't be an averagely exciting bout. No, sir. We don't usually have trios here, so we have an extra treat, and we've managed to convince the Harlequin of the Forest to team up with the Twins of Terror. And from the other side, you see these 2 kind of half-elves who, they have like kind of swooping haircuts that kind of match each other, and they're wearing like cloaks. They're very like goth looking, and then just from somewhere in the ceiling unfurls this very colorful looking elf. ? They're moving as if they've got like some kind of extreme hyper-elasticity. They're wearing a mask that covers their full face aside from one eye and like a little bit of the side of the mouth, which is just like a grin. And the rest of their outfit is like the most flamboyant bardic gear ever, but it's like not very it's very strange. They just kind of like unfurl from the ceiling like a spider almost, and kind of land and uncurl. And they do, like, kind of look to the two twins being like, this is maybe the only time we'll ever work together. So please don't disappoint me. I know you've already pledged your souls to some unspeakable horror, but please don't embarrass me, okay? I'll do much worse. And kind of gets in... It's like a mixture of a stance between... What's that guy from Soul Calibur who does like the weird backwards move?
Voldo.
He's kind of a little Voldo-y. He kind of gets in like a very strange combat stance that looks a little backwards. And with that, there's going to be a ringing of the bell and a rolling of initiatives.
Let's go. This should be interesting.
It'll be interesting for sure. The ring itself is probably only 30 feet in its widest point. And remember, there's a big pillar in the middle. Pillar is made of stone. It's made of the same stone that these catacombs are made of. Wow, actually the Harlequin got, like, shit roll. So first up is going to be the twins. Which we'd love to see. I mean, they are going to immediately, like, you'd expect the Harlequin to move first. Maybe this has even been kind of planned for their movement. But they kind of, like, move, and they're wearing, like, these very long robes. You can barely see, like, their legs moving, and they're like... And, as they're moving, you start to realize that it looks like there's more than two of them. They start to kind of almost seem to duplicate around the edge of the arena, and they kind of raise one hand that starts to kind of glow with a little bit of magic, but they don't actually get any kind of attack off yet. After
Snow
that...
yells. He's like, Snow is like, there's only supposed to be 3!
Well,
Not realizing that it's like an illusion or whatever.
I would assume that we're starting within 10 feet of each other.
Yeah.
Okay, you two are affected by my aura, so you have +2 to all your saving throws based on my charisma. Just in case.
That is good to know. Next up is actually going to be Pete.
All right. So the Harlequin staying back.
Yeah.
Each of the twins has moved sort of around the side.
Yeah, and then they've kind of like...
And
it looks like there's kind of like 5 or 6 of them now. They've
Okay.
used double team, you know?
Okay.
It's hard to tell which is which.
All right. Well, Peep is gonna go for the nearest one. I would say... I would imagine Peep's on the left-hand side.
Yes, I
They're
also
probably-
did, and I don't know why.
Yeah, no, it just seemed to fit. Yeah, Peep's gonna go for the nearest one, and then just... I guess since I have no weapons, just a punch.
Yeah.
So, that'd be plus dex?
It's dex or strength.
Nah. Dexterity's better, but I'm still with it badly. I got a 10. But I get an extra attack.
You do get an extra attack.
Which is...
Which is a crit! So...
2 damage.
It is 2 damage. You go up to 1, and you kind of like whiff, you kind of like stumble, and then like use that momentum to get a proper good punch through, and you know, you immediately hit one of the twins outside of their illusion, which surprises the shit out of them. They're like...
You
The crowd's like,
bless
oh.
You have bless.
for the
That's
potentially
true.
for the first one. I don't know if it would affect it or not. But.
Oh, yeah.
I'll roll it. Let's see. RD4.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
a 4.
that's gonna turn that into a hit as well. So
Let's go,
it's
baby!
it's both a hit. Well, actually, the first one. The first one hits a duplicate, but the second crit obviously hits the right one. It's like you stumble through an illusion and end up punching the right one, basically. Which, yeah, it makes the crowd react pretty surprised. After that is going to be Snow.
Okay. Snow is just gonna like go like "Ah!" and then like charge the other illusion one.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna try to punch him.
Yeah.
So just a strength roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess yeah. Okay. Yes. Then it would be this. Yeah.
You like even the duplicates, they kind of like dodge and duck out of the way, and you just hit like the side, and there's like a raised bit before you hit the crowd, but you do like hit the side, and there's like some woman up there who's like whoa, like jumps out of the way because you make the whole room shake.
And so then he spins around and he goes and tries to like turn his momentum around. Oh! I don't know how much damage it does. I don't remember.
It does. It's 1 plus your strength or dex modifier.
Oh, so 5 then. It's not bad.
Yeah, that is pretty great actually. Yeah, you just clock one out of the illusion with massive ease. After that is going to be the Harlequin, who is just going to duck forward. They're going to kind of like spryly move around the pillar in the middle, and are of course going to launch themselves at Vincent. You know, the other two are fighting the twins. So he's going to make 3 unarmed strikes.
Oh jeez.
Oh yeah. What's your AC right now?
11.
So all 3 are gonna hit. As they basically just like dodge around a pillar as like a whirling dervish of like kicks and punches. Again, very bendy. It's rolled maximum on each damage dice. It's going to be 21 bludgeoning damage.
Oof.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, oh yeah. I just realized, wait, would my rage work with it? I think it would. Okay.
You can be raging if you want to be raging.
I would have raged then, sorry.
Yeah, but you're not being hit. It's Vincent that's being hit, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, this guy strikes you as if you're being hit by multiple blades, but you know you're not. But it's just it kind of comes out of nowhere. Kick some punches, and then we'll kind of like bounce onto the ground and twist and move and shift, and you know, just a little bit of the mouth that's visible is just a wide smile with full of what can only be described as carnivore teeth. After that, I believe is your initiative, Vincent.
Vincent is going to step into this whirling dervish and just throw an elbow as hard as he can.
Yeah, that's one way to deal with it. This is like the D&D equivalent of like the Indiana Jones scene with the whip master. Yeah, you hit him. You hit him. He's like kind of ducking.
As the elbow's coming in, it starts to glow with silvery sheen. And I am pumping. Let's see here. 2nd level smite into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah. We do get our proficiency on these two, don't we?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I forgot to.
And then he will follow that elbow up. He'll just kind of like drag the elbow down and then just kind of throw an uppercut after it.
Yeah. Vincent has been waiting all of the last campaign to be in a fighting pit, clearly.
Also, he with that smite that goes off, that he's going to send a ripple effect of energy through his companions and inspire them. With his inspiring smite channel divinity. So let's see. It's a bonus action. 2d8. So that is plus 6, 11. I will give each of us 3 temporary hit points, and I'll take the extra 2
Awesome.
since I just took that beating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then his second fist roll.
That one's going to be a miss. It's like they kind of, you hit the man to surprise the next one, and the Harlequins just kind of like duck and weave behind you, moving nearly silently. But also there's the announcer talking, who is pretty distracting. When it's like, well, it looks like we have a paladin in the field right now, folks. Let's hope that their god is appreciative of gambling. And then it's gonna be, I believe, Peep next. I am gonna fuck up the initiative order at some point, and that is just what happens in the gambling ring.
I guess also I wanted to. I guess Peep would have done 4 damage actually last time, right? Because Peep.
Oh yeah. No, 5, wouldn't it? Because it was a crit, so 2 plus 3. Because there were 3 decks, it'd be 5 damage. Nice.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right. Let's see. So this one of the 2 twins that I'm up against, seeing as
There's
I'm like
still
2'7".
clones. You don't necessarily know, and they're kind of moving. You don't really know which one's which.
Yeah, which one's which? Yeah.
Oh, actually, it would be them, but you know what? You can go first. Now I'm thinking about it.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna, wherever one's nearest, I'm gonna go for a tail sweep and try and just knock them down, but it's still just like a normal attack.
You could knock them down instead if you want. It would be a contested
Ooh.
athletics or acrobatics. You can do it whenever you do
Yeah.
an attack. You can knock someone down, and you can try to push them or grapple them.
It's like a shove attack.
Ooh.
Or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
there's a shove where you can
Yeah,
knock
let's
them prone
knock him.
instead.
Let's knock him down then. So contested athletics.
And then
Acrobatics.
if they're prone, then you can use your second attack and just basically just beat on them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they roll pretty well, but you actually, let's see if you even hit a real person. You do. And they just and their duplicates just vanish, and they're like hit them to the ground.
That's great.
As they're what, thinking, they're just gonna see Peeps having an anime moment. They're gonna jump up and just fist. Do I get advantage because they're knocked down and
Yeah,
then
you do.
hitting in melee?
Yeah, you do.
Nice.
Yep, you hit them. You hit the shit out of them. They are gonna retaliate by kind of pouring at you, but at this point you're beating up a nerd. At this point, they're just sort of stop. The other twin is kind of that look at Snow, but they are gonna kind of twist and move and change their focus to Peep instead, and they are of course gonna use Eldritch Blast. What do you think else is happening here? What's your armor class right now, Peep?
13.
Holy shit. So the first one is going to be a miss, the second one is going to be a hit. Crack-a-crow! It's going to do 6 force damage. As there's just of magic across the battlefield. And after that is Snow.
Yeah, Snow is just gonna try to. So they kind of stepped away and then blasted at Peep. The basically.
Yeah, well, they didn't really even step away from you. They're just focused on Peep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the twin in front, but the twin in front of you still has. That's the one that still has kind of the illusions up. So you're not necessarily sure where they are, and there would have been multiple, Eldritch blasts from the illusions. Yeah. It's quite tricky to work out what's going on there.
Yeah. Snow is just gonna charge back in, just punching wildly. So. You know what? I'm gonna reckless attack as well.
Yeah!
Actually, can I do that?
Yeah!
I think I can.
Yeah!
So he goes "Argh!" and then just I added it as an attack. I call it the snow punch.
Why is that when you... Yeah, you hit him. You hit him in the face.
Okay. And then he snow punches again.
There's also a hit. That twin is very nearly down. They are bloodied from the nose, and you kind of end up smacking them against the edge wall a little bit, but they're still up.
I also before that's all he does. But Snow will like look up around at the audience a bit. He's gonna see if he can see Adelhard and see what's going on there.
Adelhard probably isn't even in the room. Adelhard is probably in like the entrance room with like the tellers.
Yeah,
It's up to you though.
that's fair.
Depends. He won't be chatting it up with a group of sailors.
Yeah, Adelhard isn't paying attention. Adelhard won't be proud.
Okay.
The Harlequin is going to do some punches on Mr. Vincent. One of them is a miss, but one of them is a crit, so it ends up cancelling out to be the same sort of damage as last time. Except for one of my dice fell on the floor. There's a good damage roll, so we're keeping it. Those are the rules. It's gonna be.
Poor Vincent.
It's another 21.
Oh, jeez.
All
Oh,
right.
no.
Massive balance.
I'm still up.
And it's one of those things where it's like you can kind of like, you know, get your arms and elbows in the way of some of the strikes, but they just keep on coming. And it's almost like a Capiera kind of fighting style. There is one point where he kind of ducks onto his hands and just kind of spins. And that's when he will actually just kick you right in the side. You're just like, oh, whole organs just shifted. You know, you have the Mortal Kombat zoom in for a moment there, and then
Vincent's an old man. He's gonna, his hip's gonna hurt.
Yeah. And then it's your turn next, Vincent. Are you still up?
I am. Barely, but I am. Thanks to that temporary hit points.
You love it.
So Vincent is going to kind of fall back and kind of stutter away from the strikes. And as he does, he kind of stands up and you see him kind of flex his muscles and his eyes start to glow with that same silver energy. And his wounds start to close. And I'm going to heal myself for 20 with Lay on Hands.
Whoa! Massive.
The sooner you guys can finish those, the better.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Yeah, that is it. Next is Peep.
See, I'm imagining like Pete was probably like on top of that last one, like just beating the shit out of them before getting hit by the Eldritch Blast. To like get back up, look, see that Vincent's had the utter shit kicked out of them by this Harlequin. And hearing Vincent like shouting like to finish off, "Don't worry, there's the Eldritch Blast just comes flying out a bit quicker than expected. And I'm gonna hit the Harlequin with them. Let's see, Eldritch Blast. Pew, pew.
Well, of course, you have to describe this, because no one's seen it before. The
Yeah.
first one's going to be a miss, but the second one is a hit. This guy is very dodgy.
As it was meant to, originally it was going to be a quite dramatic reveal, but this time it's just sort of flown out, where it's just like, Peep takes a stance, takes a big breath, and then and there's like a beam of fire comes flying out of their mouth, similar to a dragon, but much more focused. And instead of being a big spray, it's like a focused like a jet. It's like someone's like turned a hose on.
It is. It's like a pressure
Basically.
hose.
It's like
Yeah.
a Monster Hunter monsters
Yes.
attack or something.
It also is reminding me of Agumon's attack from Digimon, like Pepper Breath.
Yeah.
I know that's a blast,
Snow-
but just the fact that it's like a little breath attack makes me think Agumon.
Snow sees this and is like, yes!
Yeah, there would definitely be a reaction from the crowd as this kobold breathes fire, and the Harlequin kind of like you do like see there's just like a glint in their eye when the first one comes in, and they will kind of like duck and move, but then they, you know, Vincent kind of closed them in. They don't have enough room to move, and they do get kind of like burned by the rest of it, which will kind of send this really bright powder into the air where it scratches him and burns him. It's like a kind of like almost like someone let off an aerosol of some kind. And they are gonna just kind of like and just stare at Peep as they shift and move for a moment. But they are gonna be hit by that. After that is gonna be the twins. The twin that you're on top of is going to use their movement to stand up. and then is going to punch you. And is going to hit. It's going to be 3 bludgeoning damage.
It's fine.
As they, you're distracted by that. They're like, and there is just like a crunch, and it's like you can handle it, but still you are clocked in the side of the head. The other twin is going to kind of look around at what's going on, and they're going to disengage from poetry and start climbing the pillar in the middle.
God, okay.
And they get that, they're just kind of like, as you're like turning and distracting this, you kind of look away, and they're like,
Yeah.
they're gonna jump up and climb and get a little ways up where there are just a little bit of like little posters where maybe people would have hung like lanterns and things when this was being used as like a cellar where they can kind of like perch, but they are not as dexterous as the Harlequin. They're like kind of hanging on, and they're like, ugh, and there's like trickling blood. The one you hit, Snow, is really wounded. And then it's your turn.
Okay, so they're like on top of it, sorry, or like halfway up of the.
Yeah, you can't really get on top of the pillar. It kind of goes up and then
Okay.
kind of curves, but they're like up
Okay.
on the edge of the pillar, or on like a little bit of a wooden stand where they can stand with like 1 foot.
Vincent seeing this will call out the Snow. Switch!
Snow. I don't know. Oh god, I gotta.
It's so much harder to work out what you want to do in a fighting pit than like a regular fight.
Yeah, it is.
You have less options,
Yeah.
and yet it's harder.
So, I kind of want to. Okay, yeah. So I mean, like, Snow is raging, so he has like a lot of movement speed,
It's true.
and he's not wearing his armor. And so, would he be able to like clamber up to where they are?
You would have to give me a roll. You wouldn't be
Okay.
able to stand where they are. You would be like King Kong on the side of the Empire State Building. You'd have to
That's
just
fine,
be like
yeah.
below them, where you could be like, "Arrgh." But
No,
yeah,
that
it would be an
works.
athletics
I have a
check,
plan.
which
Okay.
you'd have advantage on because you're raging.
Yeah.
Rage
Okay.
climbing is a genuine strat. Oh yeah, you can just be like,
Okay.
like
And
climb
then-
up the building like the side of the wall like Venom.
What I want to do is I want Snow to like grab them and then just suplex them off the pillar.
That would be a contested athletics, acrobatics.
Okay. Like
And then you'll
basically just
both
go
take
down
full
with
damage.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I
Okay.
love it. That's brilliant.
Oh!
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh!
I would have advantage, right? Just to double check.
Yeah,
Because it is
yeah.
still a. Okay.
You will suplex them off the pit. You'll grab them by the leg. They're like, what? They're like, what are you? And then all the air leaves their lungs as they're like launched and suplexed, and you just crunch onto the ground, and there's like a oh
Yeah.
from the crowd, and you like kind of like get up. I'm not going to even make you take full damage. You can get up, and the twin is on the ground, just like. And just kind of like
Yeah.
rolls on their side and gives up.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then, that takes one attack, right? Then.
Well, climbing
do
up
that.
as well. Let's say that was your full
Okay.
action.
Yeah, that works. I got you. Alright, well then that's. I mean, if he has, yeah, he probably
You
just
got
has to
movement.
get up with the rest of his movement.
Yeah.
And he'll move towards the Harlequin. So, yep. That's
The
it.
Harlequin is gonna. Well, now Vincent's low or lower. So it's gonna measure out his punches a bit more. First one, complete width. You're starting to actually get this guy's pattern. It's very difficult. Also, there's a dice literally on my face, but any combatant can be predicted one way or another. And you do. And there is the moment where you, like, completely deflect a strike perfectly, and they just shrink back a little bit, letting out a little bit of a laugh. And then they miss the next one. And then they do hit the last one, which will be for 6 bludgeoning.
All right.
Oh, but they're a little... Like, they're not that wounded. They have that, like... The punches didn't seem to phase them. Like, there's not like that they got resistance or anything. But they could take it. But that burn on their side is definitely some kind of weird wound. But they're more just shaken because you're actually, like, a challenge for them. Which it seems like... You get the idea that this is the person in the fighting pit that, you know, really calls the shots. Next is your turn, Vincent.
Vincent's gonna press that attack and sort of like wrap it, just not a full grapple, but sort of grabbing him behind the neck, or grabbing the Harlequin by the neck and just like driving the elbows into his face again. So he's gonna throw two fist throws at him.
What you do against people who dodge all the time. First one's a miss, second one's a hit. It's a hell of a hit. Crack him in the face.
I will dump another my last second level spell slot into a smite there.
Yeah. This is God hand poetry. You're right. Oh shit! The Harlequin still doesn't go down. But you strike them in the head, and you see the glow kind of like run through them, and like their hair's gonna billow back, and more of this kind of like sparkling aerosolized. It's like a blood mist, but it's kind of more greenish purple. And you would expect their mask to crack, but when you hit, you're like, that's just like their face. They're not a human or an elf there. You're fighting a thing. That's, you know, you don't crack their face, but there is like a kind of almost like greenish purple is kind of like in the single eye you can see now, like when someone's got kind of like a burst blood vessel in their eye, and there's no laughing now. They're just, you know, in fight mode. Peep, the twin you're fighting is still relatively good on HP and has punched you.
Peep's probably just gonna punch them back. They got back up, didn't they?
Yeah.
Just 2
And they're not that tall.
punches.
They're like 5 foot, so you know you can give them.
They're
a good
still
punch.
like nearly twice.
Yeah.
Well, they probably are like twice. my height
Someone not
still.
that tall is still usually twice Peep's size.
Yeah, 5'7" maybe. Let's go.
Yeah, both hit. And that knocks them out. It's a clean knockout. It's an exact knockout. So that's one of the ones where they kind of like stagger back, and slump against the back wall. And that's both twins out.
Time to head over to the Harlequin.
Mm-hmm. Poetry.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Oh. it
Usually
is,
be the
okay.
twins, but all the twins are knocked out.
All
All 2 of them.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I was just gonna go like kind of like lower himself and just charge at the Harlequin. And just actually, yeah. First, I'll try to like knock him down.
Sure.
Like his first attack will be a shove, I guess.
Yeah.
Basically, just trying to bowl him over.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to do that, buddy. They get a 25. You're close.
Okay.
They got a 25.
Yeah.
It's one of those you do barrel, and like they're kind of distracted and wounded, and they're literally gonna like roll under your legs.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then Stella will kind of like turn around and then just try to go like pummel them
Oh yeah.
with an
Yeah.
attack
Yeah.
as he realizes that he missed. And yeah.
That's a hit. Yeah. Crack him.
Okay. Yeah. So just a little elbow jab.
Just a little elbow jab. He's gonna kind of is a bit lower on the ground. He's gonna try and kind of strike at Snow. He's gonna hit you in the leg with a kind of sweeping kick, which is gonna do 7 damage. Then he's gonna pop up, and as he's popping up, he's basically gonna do a scissor kick. Which you actually have a much easier time dodging. You know, once you're kind of see it coming, so you can completely dodge his move there, and he's gonna kind of land on the ground and is facing all three of you at once and is still kind of in position, but is clearly wounded. He's breathing heavy. Vincent.
Is he still Is he currently standing up? Is he on a knee?
He is currently standing. He just did that kind of like flip scissor kick attack and has just landed. Little unsteady.
Vincent is gonna run and sort of like jump off the pillar and just kind of do like a flying body splash at him. And you're gonna see Vincent's whole body, like if he hits, his whole body's gonna start to glow that silver color as he's coming in for a cross body splash. And I want there's just a hint of performance to it in this. In this moment.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, you get him. You hit him with a full body strike. Oh yeah. There's a moment where it's coming in and he's just like, and you just get him on the ground, and he kind of like pushes up slightly and his hand slips and he hits the ground, and that's when his head looks back, and that's when they're gonna ring the bell. Ladies and gentlemen,
he'll do a kip up and just kind of like
yeah,
edge on the crowd.
There's clapping, there's applause. You're very amused. And
so like pick up Peep and go like,
yeah,
like really holding Peep up.
Just breathe a little bit. Very careful not to set anything on fire, but a little bit of fire up in the air.
I like it.
Okay, excellent.
That's really
and that's actually a really good time for us to take a little break. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes. See you then. Okay. You can leave the fighting ring. Some of you perhaps limping. The enemy's definitely limping if they're not being dragged out. You can still hear like the cheering and excitement from the crowd, even once you've left into the kind of underground little cubby where people have like little locker chests where they're keeping their things, and the other sort of fighters are, and the quartermaster person will show up and kind of toss. And they just toss one of you the bag of coin, and it would probably end up being Peep, which would have, if I'm doing my math right, 63 gold in it. Here's that. Yeah. Did a good show. Crowd loved you. You just nod and turn away. You know, there's not much more to him. He's like, yep, good. You know,
I guess we could just split the money 3 ways. Well, Adelhard should get a share too. Adelhard was moral support.
He wasn't even there. Keep the money for himself.
I don't know. I guess. Either
you could
way,
split the 20s and give Adelhard the 3.
yeah, we'll do that.
Adelhard gets something.
Yeah. The Snow wants to. Are like the other ones that we fought? Are they in there? Like,
the twins aren't right now, but kind of as you're like counting out the amount of money in the chest, the Harlequin does kind of lope into the room.
Yeah. Snow would look at Peep and be like, "We should talk to that one." Would they say Harley Quinn? We should talk to them.
No, legally, that's not their name.
Snow doesn't know what a Harlequin is, so he's like, "Yes, we should speak to the Harley Quinn."
Mr. J.
Yes, Snow's gonna go over like trying to reach out for a handshake.
They are currently like slinging a bag over their shoulder, and I look at the hand, and they'll do the kind of like hand slap thing. And from the little, so, you know, they've got kind of like this mask face and just a little bit of a mouth, and it's smiling. He does kind of look at us like, we should get coffee. Drink coffee.
What's coffee?
Oh, it's a little foreign potion. Very strong, pretty expensive. But you just won enough coin to pay for 4 cups, I'd say.
So looks at Peep and Vincent.
We should get coffee.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, let's try this coffee you speak of.
They're gonna
Giving
like
Peep coffee sounds like a bad idea.
they're gonna like tie some of the tattered bits of their like extravagant clothing together, and you can see like where they've been hit, they're bruising, but the bruise is like their skin tone is kind of a like a honeyish, like a dark honey color, but the bruising is coming up like green and purple and a little bit gold too, and it's already starting to come up, and they seem to, you know, they are totally fine being injured and kind of like dribbling a little shimmery substance from the corner of their mouth, and will just kind of like move past you, and they're definitely moving with a limp, but it just kind of means they're almost like prowling like a cat, like an old cat, you know, when they move very carefully and deliberately. That's kind of how he's moving, and he'll just kind of like move past a lot of you and sweep by and be like, excellent, follow me.
Yeah. As we're going through the other room, Snow would like see Adelhard at some point and like motion and be like, so that Adelhard can meet up with us again.
Yeah, he will see you and join you.
Okay. Snow to Adelhard is like, it's like, they said we're gonna get coffee. Have you had coffee before?
And I was like, it tastes hideous.
Oh.
Vincent will stride up next to Harlequin. Now you got me doing it.
They're the Harlequin, but that's probably not
the
their
Harlequin.
name.
And just if you need me to, I can heal you a bit.
Kind of spells were those you were whipping out there? I don't know if they'd work on me, but you're welcome to try.
I will have to touch you. Is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just reach out and I'll try to heal for what I have left, which is 10 hit points.
Yeah, it does work, and the kind of bruises kind of shrink up a little bit, and he kind of wipes the little bit of kind of glittery, almost slime that was dripping from the corner of his mouth, and it's like, interesting. Come, coffee, this way, and we'll move with a lot more spring in their step, and we'll kind of almost be skipping towards a little kind of stall outside by the docks, where it is 2 gold for a cup of coffee, and he's ordering, and assuming that you're paying. And each of you will get a cup of pretty strong coffee, and sit outside on the docks at a little table where he will sit with his knees up, like he's ready to spring at any moment.
I'll pay for his coffee.
You pay for everyone's.
Yeah.
Unless you all want to pay 2 gold separately.
No, I'll pay for them all. But
12.
I guess. Yeah.
10?
10, yeah.
That's the easy math. That's the hardest.
Yeah. Vincent been paying for Snow's meals, so
Yeah.
at the taverns.
Yeah, he'll sit quite ready to spring and be like, I was very impressed with what you did out there. I usually fight in that ring alone. I don't usually work in a group.
An adequate challenge you are by yourself.
That's the aim. Yes.
I think you may have broken a rib earlier. Hold on. And you just kind of you kind of hear pop back into place as part of the healing just finally finishes up from earlier.
I was aiming for the ribs.
You got it.
So full of breakable parts. It's excellent.
Sorry about setting you on fire a little bit.
Yes, it does appear that you are a little dragon. That's interesting. What, are you gonna grow up big, tall, powerful, chambers of gold and gems?
It does sound like a lot of fun.
It does, doesn't it?
We were wondering, we're kind of new to town and we're looking for some work, sell swords and all that. Wondering if maybe you had some leads on that.
I have never worked a day in my life. Just pick up the coffee and because he only has a mouth like there, so he just kind of sips sort of sideways. But I do know the way to some entertainment. You've impressed me, and I'm sure you would impress my lady.
I enjoy entertainment as well.
He will reach into his bag, actually with one of his feet, because he's like drinking the coffee. One of his feet will just kind of like crawl around, pluck up a letter, because he's barefoot, and he'll kind of toss the letter, it'll go up, and kind of just land on the table like a dagger. It's like a letter in an envelope with a stamp on it, but the stamp is just like a sprawl of wax. It doesn't have any like symbol or anything on it, nor is it even like organized. It's like someone literally went like with like a candle. I visit a fortress to the east of here, and they have a masquerade ball happening in 2 nights from now. You're very entertaining. And if there were to be a little brawl in there, then, you know, you would be able to impress more people. And you can never rule that out. Not when people like me are invited.
Out of character question here.
Mm-hmm.
Did you mention last time the Feyforge was in the east?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I believe we can help each other out.
Really?
I mean,
Adelhard will just ask, where would we be going?
It's a fortress. It's got, like, autumn-colored walls.
He waves a hand. The name, please.
I don't know its name. Why would I need to know its
It's a
name?
fortress. I'm certain it has a name of some
Oh, I'm certain it does. Oh, many things have a name. I just don't learn them.
Can Snow like pick up the letter? Like, is it? It's there. Are they giving us the letter, or
It's kind of. It landed on your side of the table that you're on.
He's gonna pick it up and like open it.
Yeah, it is an
Unless they
invitation
stop
in. It would be in Elvish, admittedly, but it would be in very
Okay.
neat Elvish, being like it's an invitation to whoever gets this letter to the masquerade ball at Fafamel in 2 days' time.
Okay. Yeah, he'd pass it off to someone else because he can't read Elvish.
How far
Yeah,
are
I
we
don't
from
know.
Baffermill?
Okay.
Not long. I mean, it's one of those things where a day of casual travel, you'd get there quite quickly. Really quickly if you rushed. It's through forest, but it's got roads.
So just an exhibition of power or an actual full display of strength?
This is what you're asking him?
Yes.
I'm inviting you because you're interesting. I really don't know what will happen at the ball. Maybe we'll just dance and eat and, you know,
Oh.
all the other
You don't
things.
want us to start a fight necessarily, but if one were to break out, it would be enjoyable to you.
Yes, yes. Starting to get it
Understood.
now.
I am. I'm catching up quickly.
Where
That's
do
my
we-
way and the way of my people. We do anything.
where-
We do it in the best way possible. And we show off.
Has Snow put together that their mask is actually their face yet?
I don't know, that's
See.
entirely up to you, but it is kind of weird.
Because he's gonna say something that might be offensive. He's gonna be like, you know, where can I get a mask like yours?
I'm sure there's lots of people that make such things and sell them for like coins and such in your little commercial city.
This is not my city.
It's not mine either.
Do you have
But
a
I-
name at all?
My name is Vess. Vess the Harlequin.
Best.
That's the Harley Quinn. Got it.
Nice to meet you. I'm Pete. Pete Morganite.
Sir Vincent Ananias.
Snowcorn, but snow works fine.
Adelhard just shrugs and is, I am Adelhard.
I didn't even notice this one. You weren't in the ring, were you?
No, someone has to keep an eye on them.
Ah, the babysitter. I understand that role very well. You always need
Oh, you
someone
do?
who's not going to eat the mushrooms.
So, 2 nights. I think we can make that happen.
Good. It'll be fun.
Indeed. It's been a while since I've dressed up.
Oh, yes. You'll want to dress up. I don't know if they'll let you in looking like the way you do.
Do they make outfits in my size?
They'll make anything you want if you give them enough money.
Eberhard just nods to that.
And we just came into some, so that should make that easy.
Oh yes, there's excellent tailors in this place. It's very amusing, very different from my home, but, you know, so dull and colorless.
Where is your home?
Not here. I'm a guest for the party, I suppose. But I've been lurking around, wandering. Probably not meant to go so far, but what is life without disobeying the rules and wandering off path? In any moment, I could be naught but dust. So I am experiencing this place to its fullest. And he'll put like an empty cup down.
This coffee was quite enjoyable.
Good luck trying to sleep later if you're the type of creature that does that.
I am.
Have fun. And he's gonna kind of slide out of his chair and straighten up. No. I do expect to see you. I'll be most disappointed if I do not see you at the ball.
We'll have one more amongst our numbers. Is that a problem?
I don't care. No, I don't. Are they interesting? I don't want anyone boring.
Very interesting, in fact.
Great. Fine. Excellent. Maybe I'll see you on the
And I'm
road.
sure you enjoy surprises as well.
What's a party without a few surprises?
That gives Snow an idea.
Oh no!
He's gonna bow like all the way
Famous last
down,
words.
and he's gonna just sort of head off into that night, still kind of limping a little.
All right. Well,
Okay.
that gives us a lead.
Yes.
And the way into this fortress.
Also,
Yeah.
potentially.
I've never been to a masquerade before.
Neither.
I need
I've heard of
to.
it.
I need to find a costume.
I guess that's a job for tomorrow.
Yeah. At this point, it's like nighttime, right? Like.
Yeah.
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 There, you haven't
Is
slept.
there
You
a-
just went from the tavern to the pit.
Is there a bathhouse nearby or something like that?
Oh yeah.
I'll go to one of those. I'm gonna go rinse these sore muscles and then head to bed.
Honestly, that sounds like a plan. I could do with the same.
Yeah. Bathhouse trip.
Yeah, there is a very large
Sure, why
bathhouse
not?
kind of in the area, very close to the inner circle. It has a large garden outside it and seems to be, you know, relatively busy at night. It's kind of one of those things if you like, you ask someone, because Vincent absolutely would just ask people on the street, like, where's the best place to go to a bath? You go to a bathhouse, they'd be like, sort of say over this way. And the Atweave Spa is open all night, and you can easily, you know, kind of order one of the well, it's actually up to you if you want to like kind of order a chamber for the lot of you, or just kind of pay a tuppence and go to like one of the big bathrooms where there's just all sorts of people about.
Up to you guys.
I don't think Snow doesn't have any shame. He'll just go, you know.
To the base one.
Yeah.
Sure. It'd be like 5 copper each, and you can have a nice soak. You know, probably in some of the same blessed water that you've actually kind of parked your tower by. It really does do the aching bones and muscles good after a fight like that.
Peep is 100% just letting out a little bit of fire to heat up the water that bit more in the little patch they're sort of set in. Just like under the water, there's a couple of bubbles.
Okay. All right. Afterwards, do you want to head back to the tower and then kind of like get costumes, I guess, in the morning, unless you want to do anything else?
Yeah, the next day, I guess the next day will be spent getting costumes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we should. Ori's gonna love this. We should pick out a costume for Sabriel.
That's true.
We should.
Yeah.
True. Savriel's gonna need a costume.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Adalhot actually has a fashion sense.
Is oh god, I have an idea for Snow.
Sure.
Well, I don't know. I don't want mine to go first.
Well, I mean, you're probably gonna want to find like a tailor and go there all together, unless you want to split up and then meet back up. You have to go into different places, which you
That's
can
true.
do. That is an option.
No, we can go all together to a place. Are they like? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, well, you would want to find a tailor that does kind of this sort of showy masquerade stuff, but
Yeah.
there would be a lot of. I mean, one of the things that Aradia kind of exports is fashion and clothing of fine wood elven make, including, of course, the most deluxe and outside of well-fitting elven suits and dresses. Yeah, you absolutely can find more elaborate outfits, whether they are the same kind of suits and dresses, just in much more elaborate fabrics, or things that would be more fitting for a bard, or garbs of feather, and you know, you tell me the kind of thing you want. Most outfits, kind of in general, will cost 15 gold, unless you want something even more deluxe. Oh yeah, it costs a lot to look that good. And actually, for Snow and Peep, it's going to be double, because you're big and small, respectively, and harder to dress. So it's 30 gold for the two of you, 15 gold for the other two. But you get to choose kind of what sort of thing you want to do, unless you want to kind of go to like some kind of visionary tailor and let them kind of decide. But otherwise, you can just sort of pick things up.
Snow does not have enough money.
Peep can spot him.
Okay. Yeah, he's
pay
he's
for
Spend
got
all that
me
money
and
on the
Snow.
coffee.
I also that's the first money I've gotten in a
Since
while.
you spend it all.
Since before we came to Hype and Draw. That's the first money we've gotten, or that Snow's gotten at least. So, yeah. I want to know what Peep wants for his costume, and then that'll determine what Snow does.
Interestingly enough, of course,
Okay.
when you're going around sort of tailors and things, which there are a lot of, there would be in the this is the sort of area where there's boutiques, right? With glass windows with mannequins in great dress, where they're showing off their work, what they specialize on, and there would be clothes made for halflings and gnomes. So there are some boutiques that specialize in people closer to your size, not quite your size. You are, you know, even smaller and weird in proportion. You couldn't really wear a clove made for a gnome, but you totally. There are people who do things close, and things like hats and gloves and stuff would probably fit, but everything else.
Okay. So I think what Pete would go for is something that has like a nice big like frill kind of thing. Probably like a rather like a deep navy, maybe black kind of thing. Nice bit of like flowy extra bits. Maybe like something that has, it wouldn't be like full wings, but like, you know, there's always those like extra bits of fabric that are kind of always
like a Meta Knight cloak. It's kind of like wing-esque, but it's like a cloak.
Yeah.
And a cap and a collar, I guess.
Yeah, like a big sort of frill collar kind of thing. I'm assuming if it's a masquerade ball, we're gonna need masks as well.
Of course.
So Pete would probably go for something even more draconic.
You want to put a dragon mask like over your dragon face?
My dragony face, yes. Peep does not understand the full point of masquerade balls. You're meant to look a bit different from how you normally do.
But you see like a mask in one of these shops that is like a sequiny, colourful dragon face, and you're like,
yes,
and you just kind of like fit it just about like over your top jaw.
Yeah.
And snout. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I think in very Peep fashion, the mask and the outfit probably shouldn't match. Really?
Yeah, they clash.
Yeah.
Vincent will go for more of a Zorro or Dread Pirate Roberts like fashion. Wide brimmed hat, sort of sequiny around the edges of it. Same thing with a kind of feathered kind of mask over his eyes. And then a long cape down to his ankles that kind of goes over the shoulders and kind of hides the armor underneath and things.
Oh, yeah. That's totally acceptable, for sure. Nice.
Okay, Everhard, can I go for something like very Venice Carnival inspired in black and white?
Yeah. So the thing you kind of pick up is that like there are all these shops with this kind of like there are people selling like suits and dresses, right? And there are like whatever suits. There's even a type of fashion that is Iranian maids that is seen as fashion in other places. It's a whole thing. But a lot of these like more carnival-y outfits are either being made right now or are kind of in storage, because usually these would be for like the summer festival. People are like, oh, you're getting ready early? That's kind of what they kind of think you're doing.
Yeah.
So there are those kinds of outfits around, for sure.
He's going extravagant, yeah.
Okay. Extravagant kind of like carnival outfit in black and white, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like the idea. So Peep has a dragon mask. Can Snow find like a frost giant mask?
Might be a bit of an ask, but maybe.
Yeah. Can I roll like an investigation?
Yeah, go roll investigation.
If I can scrounge up something.
Because let's be honest, you'll be able to find a giant mask. It'll just be some kind of like vaguely racist caricature.
Yeah,
you don't know if how many people are like, oh, this is what a frost giant looks like, and it's gonna, You've only seen one frost giant, and you only saw it because it was dead.
Can I get like an ogre mask then?
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
Okay, I'm going as an ogre. And like,
the ogre
I like it.
Of the north.
Is it one of those things where like the oh god, I'm trying to. There's like a shirt, but it has like this like spray painted on like just a pot belly. I don't know.
I kind of see what you mean. Like the people who wear like the tuxedo shirts, but it's like an ab shirt. It's a shirt with like like an ogre belly on it, I guess.
Yeah. No,
maybe not. That probably does exist, but maybe not for a masquerade ball.
Snow's gonna go as an ogre, and he's gonna try to make it in without wearing a shirt to make it really look like an ogre.
Okay.
So there you go. This will be
You
interesting.
wouldn't have to spend 30 gold on that then, because you have
Let's go.
trousers and things. It would just
I'm
be
saving
like
people some money.
like 2 gold for the mask, and you're good.
Oh, okay, never mind. I can pay for that then, so
Yeah.
people can save their money.
It's like, oh no, peep, I could pay for this. The full outfit is
What-
just this.
what are
this
we getting
big
for
ogre
Sabrio?
mask.
Oh yeah, we gotta
Important.
I think we
Yes.
should definitely get something elven, but just super extravagant and over the top.
Very feathery, big like Elton John
Yeah,
feathers maybe.
yeah, feathery.
Oh, what
Very
if it,
feathery.
okay. So in Elden Ring, no spoilers, but there's a character who has a golden mask on their face. And that would fit pretty well for Sabria.
Just a big sun.
A big
Interestingly,
sun.
you actually do find when you're going around the summer festival masks, you find a whole like someone has a wall of there are masks that are meant to represent some figures in a play about the betrayal of Ivrith, this lady of moon elves. And there is a character in that is meant to represent the sun god. So there would be a character mask that is the sun god. And it would be like gold and sequins, and it'd be kind of like big. I get Dagoth I guess, by accident, but yeah.
Let's do that.
Good.
Yeah. And then something like big, feathery, probably gold.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Cool. Alright. Outfits
Like-
purchased for a masquerade ball. Anything else you want to kind of buy or look into while you're still in the city before you start a-traveling?
I do. Yeah.
I want to actually see the port.
Yeah, well, you were there during the night. You can always hang out there during the day.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning.
Snow wants to buy some party tricks.
Drugs? What are you thinking here?
Afterwards, I realized that it came out
Yeah.
like that. But no.
Absolutely, Snow is trying to buy some MDMA or something.
No. He actually wants to buy like. He wants to buy like he wants to go to like a magic shop, not of actual magic, but of like street magic.
Pretend like street
Yeah.
magic shop.
And buy like he wants to buy like one of those bouquets that you can like hide away and then go.
Yeah, sure. That'd be like a gold.
And then also a rabbit to put inside of a hat.
You want to buy a rabbit? You can buy a rabbit.
No.
How long has the rabbit been in there?
He's just gonna pull it out in the middle of the party. No, he's just gonna buy the bouquet. So that's 1 gold. Hold on, that leaves me with 6. Okay, could
That's
I
pretty
buy? No. Sorry, just a dumb idea, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Sure.
If there is any sort of like orphanage or someone who helps the needy and that kind of thing, Vincent will stop by there and make a donation of 5 gold.
It's actually interesting. The spa you're at, they would have some signage that say that they kind of support and run a local kind of orphanage system where they take people from the streets and kind of help them out. And as you go around, you'd also find out about an area called Rosewater Way, which is where a lot of the kind of dispossessed in the city sort of end up. And you can kind of help out there as well, help with food and water and stuff like that.
Yeah, he'll spend time doing that.
Okay. And then it's probably time to start getting on the road.
Yes. Heading to a masquerade party.
You know, when we set out for an adventure, I didn't expect a masquerade ball to be one of the things we'd be doing.
I didn't expect that I was going to meet a Peep or a Snow when I set out on mine.
That's fair.
Agreed. I expected none of this to happen.
But here we are, and we're all the better for it, right?
True. This has been great.
Yes. I don't think I would have ever, my village is not the place where you normally have this sort of masquerade ball. Although maybe I should propose that as an idea. Anyways.
A village, where is it?
Are we, when you say 2 days or a day travel, you mean by foot and / horse, or
Yeah, by foot /
with the
horse.
tower? Okay.
With the tower, you can go much faster, but then you have to land a tower somewhere.
Yeah,
Whereas-
it's not.
We show up with the tower. That's a
No,
fashionable
that would be a bit
entrance.
obvious.
Very loud.
We should...
Yeah, that's true.
That's gonna make us quickly infamous, which is maybe not the tact we want just yet.
It's not what we want. We have a subtle way into the Fey Forge right now. We don't want to land with the Sun Elf Tower.
So Vincent will call Pearl, and I guess is Sabriel with us now at this point?
Sure, Sabrel's just NPC mode
Following
and
along.
somehow doesn't
Right.
know that you're going to a masquerade ball yet. That'll
That's
be
good.
a whole thing for next time, I guess. To be fair, actually, Sabrel can catch up on
we're
the
hiding like the
Pegasus, so...
shopping bag.
That's true.
So maybe Sabrel isn't technically here yet.
Severo's doing elf business,
Understood. Okay, roger that. Well, then he will offer the horse to Adelhard and to Peep, and he'll walk beside Snow.
Sure. Okay. Off. You can start traveling through the Great Emerald Expanse outwards of Aradia. Much like your way kind of deeper into the city, first of all, you're going through a lot of, the sparser outer town of this Wood Elven city, where there are a lot of the Wood Elves sort of living their relative day-to-day lives. Again, you wouldn't really know that there's a war on, but then the war is against a very different enemy. Actually, when you get to the very east side of the city, and you actually bought a very detailed map. Sabriel had it, but maybe it got passed to Vincent or whatever. There would be a very main road that leads through the forest towards the Dwarven lands, and at some point it kind of snakes upwards closer to Farfamel. And you're kind of starting to take it. Very edge of Aradia, before you really leave the city proper, but again, it's not like it has a proper formal wall or anything. You see what in Vincent Adelhard's eyes is clearly a war camp. But clearly, a war camp of young, ambitious soldiers in this part of the town. They are hanging out around the tavern. They are setting up their flags. There is a relative high number of wood elves and dwarves in Union, the Everhold Alliance, that you have heard of in name from both Sabriel and Tholian. Their flag is both a kind of very rust red and deep forest green, and there's an axe and a bow in kind of crossed together like you would cross two swords. And there are people here sort of tending to horses, organizing all of these things. They've kind of co-opted a part of town where the actual citizens don't really seem to be super mind, and also a lot of them probably are, just joined. And there are, there's people kind of preparing armor, sharpening swords, all that sort of thing. But it strikes, as Adelhard as kind of a cynic, and Vincent as an older, wiser gentleman as yeah, this is a very young and ambitious, war troop. It's not like a city guard or an organized country military. It is freedom fighters. It's freedom fighters teaming up together. I don't know if you ever really want to interact with them in any way, that they wouldn't stop you and you're not really even passing directly through their little camp, but you would be kind of tangential to it on your route.
Keep moving past, or should we stop?
Let's
So
move
just-
past.
Yeah. We can study them as we're going by, but yeah.
Okay. Slowly, the sparse wood elven outer city just sort of dissolves to being full, very deep, very dense, old wooden forest. This is the kind of forest that is very largely incredibly old oaks. The kind of trees that shift the land itself with the size of their roots. The road you're taking is very well kept and very well organized. Despite going through the middle of the forest, the road is extremely well paved and has fence posts and things. And there's a lot of traffic that you meet on the road as well. There's traders traveling back and forth. There are caravans and things, and there are also other folk just kind of walking, sometimes with like a bag, There are other groups of young and ambitious travelers that maybe they'll be going to the fighting pit next. And on you go. The springtime is clear in the forest. On those old oak trees, leaves are just starting to grow as buds. The wind cascades through the trees. Occasionally there would be full-on blossoming trees. It's not all oaks, there's a huge variety. And as time passes on, you actually skirt away from the main road onto this other road, which is still clearly well-traveled. It's not as kept as well, but the wood elves really do seem to keep these forest roads very clear, and there would probably even be some signs saying, don't stray far from the road. This road that heads towards the Fey Forge, and that seems to be its main purpose, skirts around a river. And I do mean that it's not alongside a river. In some places it seems to switch which side of the river the road is on after a nice bridge for seemingly no real reason. Just kind of skipping to the other side. There are large formations of rock. And as you go, as the noon turns to afternoon, the road gets less and less maintained. There are no organized sort of camping spots or anything. The fence posts around the wall are surrounded by twisting creeper vines, and things are less organized. You pass a trader's wagon that looks very heavily overburdened with a broken wheel, and there are two elves kind of there's one elf taking care of it, another elf who's kind of sitting by it reading. The one who's reading is clearly a merchant. The one who is kind of taking care of fixing a new wheel onto the broken wheel is looks like a guard of some kind. Not like a city guard, but they have a kind of light chest plate and some garb and weapons on them. The kind of person that often a merchant will hire to protect them. They appear to be having a lot of difficulty getting this wheel onto their wagon.
No, we'll go over and offer to help. Because he can lift a lot of stuff.
Give me an
Vince is
athletics
gonna-
check.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out around, just keeping his head on a swivel.
Also, because I gotta remember. I actually haven't added it to my sheet. My totem thing. Also, which we decided would be reskinned, but it's the might of the bear too. So I guess that would be an advantage. We said it was the might of the boar instead of the bear.
Might of the boar. Okay, give me the.
Yeah.
You would have advantage for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a pretty crap roll for you.
Yeah, it's
for
not
you,
great.
for level 6 barbarian. But you can help the guard get the wheel back on, and they would kind of thank you appreciatively in Elven, which you don't understand. The merchant will kind of lower their little book, and they'll look at Vincent, who's kind of taking guard, and be like, "Things that attacked our cart went off back into the forest, so I don't think they're still here."
Better safe than sorry.
Yes,
What did attack you?
What attacked us? Some kind of troll. It seemed sick. I don't know. Usually you make a loud noise and you can scare a troll away. That's what this one's for, but... charged right off the road and knocked us into the fence. Wheel popped right off. Didn't try to steal anything from us. But then I'm carrying dwarven steel. I don't think a troll would have any use of anything like that.
I don't know, I've never seen a troll before.
Ugly, nasty things. With sagging skin and brains the size of peanuts.
Was it fleeing from something else, or just passing through, or attacked on principle?
I don't know. Went off that way and kind of motions to an area where, yeah, you can see that like the bushes and foliage have been kind of mushed down by a large creature traveling through.
Does anyone actually know anything about a troll?
I can roll.
You can give me a nature or history roll. It will be different depending on which roll you do. Different
Yeah.
information
I
you
will
can
go
get.
for
Yeah, I'll
rolling
roll,
history.
I know nothing.
So, okay. So, Snow. You live in an area with lots of giants. Trolls live all over the place. You live in an area with a lot of snow trolls. They are big and brutesome, but not actually as dumb as people say. They're the kind of creature that the people of your village can kind of be like, hey, look, don't cause us any trouble. Here's a chicken. You know, that sort of thing. Occasionally trolls will set up on roads and kind of toll people, and that's one of the things that they'll do more often to the humans in your local area up north. Don't really bother your people, because there's a kind of kinship there. But, you know, they're big, they're dangerous. They're kind of what you'd expect. Now, Adelhard has completely different random information on trolls because of the sort of information your people keeps. And the area you're in, around your area, there has been a long history of attempted troll kingdoms. For some reason, trolls always seem to they always seem to try and, like, create a king. Or there's a troll king that rises up one way or another, and they form little troll kingdoms that don't last. And more than once that has been abused by a magical entity, such as in and around the city of Drakenbrow and the Forest of Frigid Mists. On their own, though, trolls aren't very... trolls are dangerous to, like, a merchant traveling. To a group of adventurers, it shouldn't be an issue, especially if you have, against your regular snow troll or forest troll. Fire is quite dangerous. It counteracts the regeneration. There you go. You got the knowledge in character. But in groups, they can be weirdly astute, and their troll kingdoms are pretty dangerous. They just usually collapse from within very quickly as well.
Is this a problem that we want to take time to deal with now?
It just seems like a lone troll. I do not think it will be an issue.
Snow
Did
looks
say
to...
it seemed sick.
Oh, sorry.
And so they did say it seemed sick, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's ill? Maybe we could help it rather than kill it?
Possible.
It might speak my tongue.
Do trolls speak your speak typically?
they are somewhat related to the giants.
Huh. I didn't know that.
I don't know if this one speaks anything close to what I speak, but we could always try.
Let's give it a shot. Perhaps we
Yeah.
can at least stop this from happening again to other merchants or travelers.
Yeah. Snow would nod.
So I guess we're tracking a troll.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we just take a little break and from our travel and track down this troll or try.
Yeah, it would be a survival roll with advantage. It's a big creature. It seems to have left a pretty big trail to follow.
I think I still have the highest survival. I have a 5.
Does Adelhard have a good survival roll?
That's, I guess, the one thing.
New character might knock you off the top block.
That's a negative.
No.
Alright, let's go. Wow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
you can kind of step off the path into very dense, high grasses and large bushes, and see where straight up the lower areas of trees have kind of been pushed aside, clearly by a creature with hands of around your size, being quite large yourself, Snow, and you. Go ahead.
As for going along, Snow has like a what he thinks at least is a flash of insight, and he's like, he looks at the rest of the group. And he's like, "Do you think that maybe the troll is one of the mercenaries?"
Possible.
Because that merchant said he had dwarven metals. Maybe it's related to the weapons coming from the Fey Forge.
Let's see what information we can gather. I think maybe you should go in alone to speak to the creature. With us very close by, of course.
Maybe I could challenge it to an arm wrestling match.
I was thinking a little bit more subtle and maybe just talking it down, but
Yeah.
if that's
And
your
then-
way,
Works,
then
works.
And then the arm wrestling match.
that is your preferred method of negotiation. I can't see fault in it.
Adelhard just looks at the group and is like, do you solve every issue with either fighting or drinking?
If it's possible.
It's worked so far.
It's true.
Yeah. It's just a shame that those stone elementals didn't want to drink or fight. Well, they wanted to fight, but not,
Old farmer's proverb: if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry to cut you off. We keep following.
No, yeah,
the
that's
trail,
good. You can follow the trail. Do you want to kind of have the rest of the party kind of duck back a little bit as you get closer? So
Yeah,
you
if
can go on
we
ahead
enter
alone.
an area, yeah, if it looks like we're coming up on like if we hear anything up ahead, or if there's a cave or anything like that.
You are by a cliff which does have some caves in it, but that's not where the troll is currently. When you kind of step a little bit away, you're in an area where there's some kind of old, maybe hunting shack that's been somewhat reclaimed by nature, and that's where you can see the troll. It is, first of all, trolls are tall creatures that move with usually a hunch and a slope. They have very, very heavy, sagging skin all over their bodies. That's what gives them a kind of high protection. It's very hard to actually, like, get a weapon to properly, like, clasp on them because of all these layers and layers of saggy skin, like a baby pug.
Before Snow goes in there, Vincent will reach out and kind of pat him on the shoulder and cast Eagle Splendor on him. And you just feel this kind of surge of self-esteem is the best way I can think to put it.
Like having a glass and a half of red wine.
Exactly.
The troll is clearly a forest troll. You know forest trolls and snow trolls. They have a kind of it's muddy green skin, droopy face, droopy ears. It appears to be trying to, and it is wearing like it's got like basic kind of sackcloth like pants and things on. But it's kind of trying to scratch at its back and is kind of lumbering around trying to do so. It's knocking some of an old stone wall over. You can hear it kind of groaning in distress slightly.
Okay. Snow will, yeah, like looking at the rest of the group as they're kind of like behind trees or whatever. Snow kind of walk out into this area, you know, staying a ways away.
Does the rest of the party want to roll stealth, or do you want to just be so far away that you have nothing really to do with it right now?
Yeah, I guess.
I was thinking we would be closer and just kind of hidden to try to like.
That would be a stealth roll.
Yeah.
Just hope we're upwind of it, or like downwind of it rather.
You don't want to be downwind of a troll.
This on the sheet down here.
If the troll does notice the rest of them there, it doesn't seem to respond. It seems way more preoccupied, like, scratching itself.
Yeah. So, yeah, Snow will kind of, like, you know, step out into this clearing area or whatever, like, around this. You said it's basically like an old, kind of abandoned hut.
Yeah.
And Snow would call out in Giant and be like, hello.
Yeah, the troll will kind of, like, look back over its shoulder, and it'll just be like, oh, go away from me!
I just want to talk.
Oh, lip flap somewhere else.
What? Are you okay?
It hurts. And you see him, only you really see this, Snow, because you're close enough. He kind of seems to pull what at first you think might be like a large leech from his back, but it's too, like, tough skinned. It kind of almost looks like a root.
Would you like me to help?
I don't know.
Look, I'm not gonna hurt you or anything. Just wanted to talk.
You can give me a persuasion roll. You have advantage because of English splendor.
Yeah. This is not a great roll for me.
14 is good enough to convince a troll that you can scratch his back. He kind of like lets out a distressed whine. And he's like, yeah, alright, help. I can feel it in my back. I can't reach properly.
Okay. Yeah, Snow will go over and look at what's bothering it.
Give me a medicine check.
Okay.
Which actually might be okay for you because medicine is default wisdom based.
It is wisdom, so.
I usually let people roll intelligence.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, you're still a barbarian, and the game knows that, so you can't roll good even if you have good stats. You go up, and it does look like he's got sort of something growing out of his back, and you don't really know what it is.
Snow's like, do you want me to use this? And he kind of motions to the axe. That's the plan of our battle.
No! Don't threaten me!
No. It was no threat. I'm sorry. I am not really. I don't really know.
Can Vincent see from where he is what he's scratching at?
Oh, you want to give me a medicine check too?
I was just curious if not, it's fine. I just didn't know.
You
if it
can
was
just
possible.
like it's not even clear. It's like scratching from here because it's very like broad motions. He just sort of it sort of seems like general distress from where you're at.
Okay.
But you can
walk
hear what he's
forward.
saying. If you can understand Giant, this is in Giant, then you can understand.
I don't speak Giant, but I will walk forward slowly and non-threateningly, hands up.
How'd
you get so big?
As you start walking, you trip, Vincent, over what seems to be a root. And when you kind of twist and turn to see, you see the roots standing up. A humanoid shape made up entirely of roots and briars that will kind of snap its body to position. And we're going to go to a battle map.
Oh no.
Yay.
Yeah. Snow would actually be even closer to the troll. New computer, so let me kind of like adjust for a sec. I might need to make the battle map work properly. Or even at all, as the case may be. There we go. Alright, go ahead and click your token and roll initiative. Vincent, you are going to start prone.
Let's see here.
Yo, Adelhard initiative. Kicking some ass.
Let's see.
The Briar is going to have a pretty shit initiative. The Troll... also pretty bad. Pretty bad on the Troll. I haven't been able to get a good initiative roll as a villain for, like, months. I've just been in the shit for the longest time. It looks like it is going to be Adelhard first of all. I'm just kind of moving stuff into position. And let me click this button and we'll have everything in order. Alright, so Adelhard, you are actually, you have the first initiative. You're actually in stealth right now. It doesn't seem that the troll, at least, is aware of your presence, and neither does this Briar. So, what would you like to do? If you want to move around while still being stealthed, you will be moving as if it's difficult terrain. Everything else is kind of up to you.
Okay, let's see. I think he's just breaking stealth and just moving up. Like here, and I would like to...
Where are you moving? So bear in mind that, of course, because you haven't done combat yet with us, that we use cardinal movement.
Yes.
So make sure you don't measure as the crow flies, because you will measure wrong. And you're going to need to be cardinal to do any sort of melee attack against them unless you want to use your ranged weapon as well. Or you have a weapon with reach.
Wait, what?
Alright, so the way combat works in Jarviskjir is it's like Fire Emblem rules or Advance Wars. You need to be in the cardinal 4 directions with a melee weapon to have range. You don't attack diagonally, you don't move diagonally. If you move diagonally, it counts as difficult terrain. It's just due to the kind of way measuring distance works is on square grids. It's kind of scuffed. The balance being that we use advantage to counteract it. So, the best way to do it is use your arrow keys and...
It will be moving here then.
Yeah.
Alright. I would like to make a attack with the rapier.
It'll be a neutral roll. It is a hit right away.
Oh no! Wait.
Yeah, you got to click the
damn it.
bold bit for the damage.
There
Alright.
we go.
Yeah, I mean,
And then I want to use my crossbow expert feat and hit with the hand crossbow.
okay. Does crossbow expert counteract disadvantage if you're in melee?
Yes, it does. It does.
Yeah. In which case,
Yeah,
sure.
I don't think I've never seen that one. That's
Oh.
I've seen it around. There's also like a fighting style from one of the other books that does the same thing. Okay, yeah. So you whip out of stealth, the rest of the party not even knowing where you are, the creature not knowing where you are. You see this thing trip Vincent kind of loom up like the swamp thing and can just, like a Warhammer character, dual wielding, deal like a ton of damage to this creature before it can even react. It's kind of slow. And you could just snap a whole large chunk off it and then fire a crossbow right into the core, making the thing kind of shriek out lowly. But it doesn't go down instantly. But you do a ton of damage. It's already bloodied. Anything else you'd like to do?
That's it.
Okay. Snow, you're up close to the troll. The troll is kind of looking at you through its claws with just eyes of furious pain. You can already tell that it's likely going to charge you in like a second.
Snow's gonna kind of make a last ditch effort, be like, "Well, just don't worry about what's going on. Don't worry about what's going on there." referencing
Nothing to
the
see
fight that
here.
Yeah, and so Snow's gonna try to calm down. He's like, "Don't worry about it. I can help." But he is gonna kind of like reach for his sword at the same. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't know. He's not gonna pull out his weapon yet. I guess he'll take the dodge action.
Give me a persuasion roll with advantage still, because
Okay.
you still have Eagle's Splendor.
Okay, yeah. Let's see.
The troll does not look convinced. You can
Yeah.
see the roots just wiggling through his flesh, as the other roots seem to be rising around the forest.
So yeah. Oh no, I'll take the dodge action, and I like to think that's like Snow kind of like instinctively reaches for his like sword, and then realizes that that's gonna make it angry, and then is like, it's gonna have to dodge.
Okay. Next will be Vincent. You got tripped into the ground.
Yes, I'll spend half my movement to stand up.
Yep.
And then I will use 10 feet of movement to move here.
Mhm.
And as part of the free interact, I'll draw my sword, and then my actual action, I'll draw my shield, and that'll be my
All
turn.
right. Full preparedness. Excellent. Peep.
It's the Briar, isn't it? Not me.
Nope. Unless your initiative is different to what it actually says on the thing.
I have 7
says-
initiative.
Yeah.
There are 2 peeps on initiative right
I
now.
see 1 peep.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm
I've
the
had that
DM.
when
I see more than
Yeah.
you. There is another peep.
I've had
There was a
that.
phantom peep. At some point, you must have
I've had that. when
left
I've
me an
DM'd
initiative
recently.
roll. A little treat, a little peep treat. That I just stepped in.
Yeah.
It's great. From the roots that are thick and dense on the forest floor, more living plant life rises. Not just the large kind of briars and roots, but smaller, thorny bushes and prongs as well. The briar that is between Adelhard and Vincent is going to attack at both of them. Can you give me a strength saving throw, both of you, please? As it's gonna just kind of throw its arms into the ground. It's gonna like snakes.
Adalhard, you get +2 on that.
I don't think that helps much.
No, it's still pretty bad.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, I did get a 2. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
No.
You get your own auras
Oh,
as a
shoot.
paladin.
So that's a 13.
13. The 13 is good enough. The 11 isn't. You are going to be like, you have the heroic, like, coming out of combat, you know, stab, shoot Adelard, and then immediately your legs are like wrapped around with these roots and thorns as you are restrained by the creature. In addition, an area around it, which I'm going to try and make visible real quick, will be difficult terrain. So I don't know if you'll actually be able to see it because it's roll 20, and sometimes it just kind of sucks. But I can at least tell you, because just the large roots of the trees are kind of being pushed and shifted around, and all kind of it's like a cave of snakes at this point. Then is the troll. That is gonna barrel into Snow. I mean, you know it is. You know it is. You had the one chance, the one opportunity to be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
buddy."
I am dodging, so it'll have.
They will have disadvantage. Wow!
Yeah.
A creature having disadvantage to attack Snow, that literally never happens. What's your armor class now? Because you've got your armor on.
Yeah, 15.
Okay. It's gonna hit with its first attack,
Oh no.
which is going to do a whopping 5 piercing damage.
Alright.
Then it's gonna miss its second and third. So it kind of lunges at you, and as it lunges, it just kind of like scrapes with its tusks and claws. But the actual, like, kind of attacks it makes at you, swing its arms at you, it's so pained, but the movement is very stiff and quite easy for you to, not maybe fully dodge, but I mean, you were just in a boxing match, so you can kind of like knock things away with your arms. Next up is the real Peep.
The
Not
real
Phantom
Peep.
Peep.
All right. I am going to start off with an Eldritch Blast to the small briar that's diagonal from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming because it's thingy diagonal,
Yeah,
I don't get
yeah.
disadvantage from
You're not engaged.
So 1.
Oh yeah, that's a hit. It takes
I'm
it.
guessing it's not dead.
It's not dead. I will say it's weak to fire because these are like really dry. Like, they're really dry bushes, but it still manages to take the hit in complete titty.
All right. Well, another one then.
And that's just a miss. Hope you enjoy being a warlock, Peep. It's a lot of misses.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to do? Still got movement.
I do still have movement. I am going to. 10, 20, 30. Gonna move around here. Run around the tree.
I'm gonna run around the tree. Okay. Next is Adelhard. You're restrained by the briar, but otherwise, you know, restraint doesn't stop you acting. You'll just have disadvantage on attacking if you want to, which would be counteract by the flank. So if you actually wanted to attack it, it'd be neutral right now for melee attacks.
Okay. Okay, how do you handle reloading? That's an
Good
important
question. It's the same as the hand crossbow usually would be, unless your mechanics are different. You can reload with one in each hand, with the weapon in your hand, and so that's fine. I'm pretty sure the rule is you can only load one at a time.
Yeah.
you
what
can
I
only load one
I think-
crossbow per
doesn't-
turn. Basically, is how it works.
Doesn't crossbow expert remove loading, so you can just pew pew?
No, that's another feat.
Yeah.
That removes-
So that's fine. So you are essentially, it's one of the things where who knows what happens when it leaves your field of vision, but it's coming back up loaded. That's fine. As long as you've only got the one hand crossbow.
So will that count as like a bonus action? Or
No,
I
it
can't
doesn't cost
remember how it works.
I think it's a bit of a misconception that it costs a bonus action. I think it's essentially free to load a crossbow. It's just
Yeah.
things
it's
with a
like- it's
loading
like part
action.
of
You
the
can only
attack.
do one loading a turn. So it's loaded.
Okay.
It's fine if you have
Okay.
the ammo for it.
So, but first I'm just going to cast a spell actually this time. I'm going for a cantrip, which will be Green Flame Blade.
Okay.
So,
if it's
you just see
melee, it would still be neutral. So that's fine.
Yes. It will be with the rapier. So that is that a hit?
Oh yeah, green. That's a hit.
Okay.
Oh yes. The like you could strike it. Feel free to describe what the fire and magic looks like afterwards, but it is immediately gonna burn the creature and all of the vines around you, and just kind of like drop the vines that were restraining you like instantly. It's gonna be like,
His magic is it's more of a bluish flame, like it's a cold flame.
yeah.
Yeah.
Deleted.
I can move.
Mhm.
Okay. 10. Go over here.
Okay. Snow. You got a troll in your face. Face troll.
Okay. Yeah, so it's like Snow would know that they're weak to fire, but he doesn't have any way to do anything about that on his own. So for now he's just gonna he's gonna rage, kind of be like, "Argh," and then just start whacking at it with his greatsword, I guess.
Whacking and whacking
Well-
and whacking.
Actually, no, I could use the Planavar battle axe instead. Let's go. And yeah, let's see. So I'm gonna reckless attack too.
Good.
So yeah.
With a hit.
Okay, let me make sure it did the right damage. It did.
Dude,
Okay, because it's a +1, right?
it's plus weapon. Yeah, it's magical.
Yeah. max
Cuts through
damage
these
too,
layers
let's
of
go.
troll hide like they were regular skin.
Yeah. Actually, sorry, it'd be another 2 because of the rage on top of that.
Because
Sorry
of the
for
rage
that.
on top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby.
Oh yeah.
And so just starts basically just go like with two-handing the battle axe, whacking at it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to have to do this.
The troll just lets out a frothing, angered growl at this point, very hunkered down as low as it can, almost on all fours. It takes the hits, is already bleeding, but you can already see the waxy secretions between the layers of skin starting to stitch the skin back together, basically, like very rapidly forming scarified tissue. It almost bubbles together like a baking cake. Vincent. Ain't it just make you hungry?
Vincent is going to cast Compel Duel on the troll.
Okay.
So it has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Throw against your DC of 12.
13.
13. It makes it. With points to spare.
Okay.
It
Cool.
resists the magic. It's so focused in this pained rage.
Vincent will then move here. And bear his shield at the creature.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
The briars, the smaller ones, are going to kind of skitter and move forward. Okay. You can just hear the sound of twigs snapping in the woods, but that's also all the sound everywhere, every which direction. The one closest to Adelhard, in that it's right there by Adelhard, is going to kind of whip around and kind of scratch at you. Adelhard, what's your armor class?
That will be a 15.
It's going to hit. First damage of the campaign for Adelhard. Yeah, we'll go round of applause. I never find a D4 when I need one. Sink to the bottom of my dice box. Gonna be 6 piercing damage. Just scraped by the thorns and the needles of the bush, and then there's the larger briar that is going to. Slower than the other one, lumber and lope forward towards Snow. Again, a very Swamp Thing kind of trudge, lifting earth and roots out of the ground every time it takes a large step. And then the troll, all the enemies right in just one clump. The troll's waxy skin is going to repair some of its wounds, like I described. And then you better believe it, it's going to attack Snow with advantage because he attacked recklessly.
I will use my reaction to impose disadvantage on my shield.
That's going to make that first bite attack a miss. And is that all the attacks or just one that gets this much?
I think it's just the one. I use my reaction for one attack.
Yeah, you basically can throw your shield in the way of the troll's face as it's going in to bite Snow, which makes an excellent clanging sound, especially because it's this dragon scale shield. It's like a very thick thump. And then it's going to go for a claw strike, which should hit for 11 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then the second one will also hit for 13.
Okay. Well, good thing I'm raging. It
Yeah.
still hurts though.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like, ah.
Okay.
Okay.
Peep, the real Peep, hiding behind a tree.
Real Peep is going
The real
to pop out 10 feet and then Eldritch Blast that one next to Aelhard. So that's also going to be at advantage because pack tactics.
You don't have pack tactics. You're too far away.
Isn't it just if anyone's in?
I think it's if.
Advantage on attack roll against creature. If at least one of your allies is within 5 feet. The allies
Oh, of that creature. Yes, so
Yeah.
I put it.
Yeah.
No, you are right.
I always.
Yes.
I always do that too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like-
yeah. You're right. You are absolutely right. That is gonna be disgusting. That is a hit. That briar just dissolves into nothing. It's just.
And then that other one that's just off to the right is going to get a normal Eldritch Blast to the face.
Yep. It gets hit in the face. It does take it though.
Yeah. And then 15, 25, 30.
Okay. Next up is Adelhard.
What will the movement look like? Okay, yes. He's moving up, and same as last turn, another green flame blade. And you basically just see his rapier catch fire after speaking some arcane words, and the bluish fire looks a little bit like the color of his eyes. I'm guessing that's a miss.
It is a miss. Congratulations, little dude. You dodged an attack. It is. It's like very much a gremlin. Okay. Snow.
Okay. I guess not really in a position to be able to flank it right now. I guess I can use some of my movement to like get around to here
Yeah.
to make it easier for Vincent.
Totally
But yeah, since I have a lot of movement, so I'll do that. And then he's gonna start trying to just put this thing out of its misery. Basically, he can tell it's in pain. He's gonna reckless attack. And
I don't know if I want someone to recklessly put me out of my misery. I don't know if I want that.
Oh,
I'm just getting stabbed by the needle. Yeah, it's high damage. You're right. It takes it.
And another one.
It's weaker, but it still hits. You know.
Yeah.
The troll is still being spurred on through this pain rage.
Yep. And he's, Snow could tell that Vincent tried to get it to do the compelled duel, but so would call it. He'd be like, don't worry, Vincent. I have it. Just do you have any fire? And that's it for him.
Vincent's turn.
I do not.
Oh no! Snow's like, just help me then.
But Vincent will step behind the creature, gaining that advantage.
Yes.
And will strike at the creature's back with 2 longsword swings.
Yep. It's all adding up. Trolls are heavy foes with lots of meat. Their bodies can take a lot of damage, but it is bloodied. It's, well, I wouldn't say it's slowing.
I will drop a first level smite into each of those strikes.
Troll takes it, barely. Each strike crashing with light.
And that's my turn.
The Briar, the little one, is going to throw open its arms, throw them forward, and all kinds of spikes and thorns and pollen and those little like spiky ball seed things that get stuck on you when you're traveling. They're all going to be thrown at Vincent, and it is going to hit for 12 piercing damage. It's hit by kind of a cloud of this that strikes you.
Oof.
Then Adelhard is going to be attacked by the other one, which is going to miss. It's not going to be able to get a proper hit against you. The Root Briar is going to get up nice and close, and it's going to reach its arms forward against Snow. And you were attacking Reckless still, right?
Yeah.
It's going to hit. You
Okay.
are grappled by it,
Okay.
and you're going to take 12 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
You're going to be restrained by it as it's basically holding you in the roots. Which does mean that the troll gets super advantage on you. Which doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
But
If only it did.
it will hit. It will deal a whopping 2 damage with its bite attack. Then it's going to miss
I can take
somehow because it's, it's very weak and it's kind of throwing its whole body into things. It kind of almost tumbles over, but on the way up, like, scratches at you, which will hit. You can almost feel the grime and dirt in the troll's claws with every strike, and that is going to be 15 slashing damage with that last attack from the troll, and then it's Peep.
Alright. Do I have clear line of sight to the troll from where I am, or do I need to shift up slightly?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to because of the rock and the tree altogether.
Okay.
You have to go on the other side of the tree.
5, 10, 20, 25, 30? See from
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll... Seeing as I'm assuming I could hear from that distance thingy, the Snow asking Vincent if he had any fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't worry, I got some! Just start blasting out. So, advantage. Just gonna dump them both in. 1 and 2.
Yep. Both hit, and it's not much damage, but it's enough because the troll was deeply wounded. Every strike that Snow and Vincent added up against it, it made lots and lots of that very flammable, waxy troll fat leak and drool all over the creature. And when it's hit by the beams of dragon breath, the troll just lights up like a candle and flails for a few moments before crashing into the ground as a smoldering corpse.
Nice.
What the fuck?
So it's like, it's normal. Just keep fighting.
I didn't feel good.
Just wait till you see what happens when I die. Oh. Nice. Snow would not have the proper frame of mind to make a joke like that.
This isn't a Marvel movie. You know, it basically is. But Adelhan, you're next.
Same thing. Fireworks.
Yep. That's a hit. Yeah.
That a hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is an overkill by a factor of 4. There is nothing left. The evil is combusted completely.
Adelhard
I
killed
would like
baby.
to move.
He killed Baby Groot.
Yeah, but if that was Baby Groot needs to trim their nails.
Yeah. Poor Baby Groot.
Snow, you're still restrained by this briar, and it's far enough away that it's kind of out of reach as well. It's kind of holding you in the roots and vines.
Okay, instead the smart move would probably be to try to like break free. Instead, Snow is just gonna like grab one of the giant javelins on his back, it probably has them slung over his back in a, I don't know what they're called, but the carrier, and he's just gonna try to fling one at it.
Sure, you'll have disadvantage because you're restrained, but if it hits, it'll be pretty cool, I guess.
Oh,
yeah, that is a hit.
The rage.
No
the
rage
would not
damage. That's
apply.
fine. That's fine. We have experienced this before. Yeah, it's a strong hit. The vines do not remove. Like it's kind of holding you in place, and you hit it with a javelin. It's like,
and
it just stays in place.
I will do the same thing again. Come on, nope.
Yeah, that's gonna be a miss. I'm not gonna make anything happen with that one.
Okay, I was gonna say it's like he accidentally, instead of grabbing one javelin, he accidentally spills them all out.
Oh no! My javelin. Vincent, the troll is down. The troll is still on fire, and that's gonna be on fire for like a night.
Vincent is going to over the troll's smoldering corpse. He's just going to reach up and fire off a guiding bolt at this one here.
Yeah,
just a level 1 guiding bolt.
it's a hit, and that's a huge amount of damage. Rocks the whole creature. Chunks of wood fly everywhere, but it keeps its consistency up.
Let me close that back down. I will move. Actually, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm gonna move here.
Okay. In which case, that briar is absolutely going to attack you. It's going to be like skittering backwards while throwing seeds and all that sort of stuff at you. It won't be able to pierce your armor and your shield, though. So it's just going to focus on running. The briar this way is going to keep on squeezing Mr. Snow. It's going to hit. And it's going to be 9 bludgeoning damage as the vines keep on
Okay.
crunching around you, and there's thorns and things all around it that kind of dig dully into your flesh. Pete.
Snow is just now visibly wounded, so he's doing fine. But
Pete, what's the plan?
Plan. Bold of you to assume I have one.
I'm very bold. Sometimes very italics, too.
I'll move there, and let's put an Eldritch Blast into the big boy. See how he fares.
It's a miss.
Well, a good thing I've got a second. It's even worse.
You set fire to the vines around Snow. Doesn't do any damage, it's just, you know, clear that you don't have much control of this.
He's gonna heat it up a little bit.
Adelhard.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this is in my range. I'm moving here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will cast Ray of Frost on this one.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, that's
that's good. Okay, yeah.
and its movement speed slows by 10 if
Its
right.
movement speed slows by all of it because it is going to shatter. It's gonna be that crispy, crunchy, freezing all around, and then the bonds around Snow will fall apart, and so will the rest of it into nothing more but twigs.
That's it for my turn.
Yep, it's Snow, it's your turn next. I don't know if you want to really do anything, because there's only one left, and you'd have to chase it. But then again, you are very fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Snow's like a little annoyed, so he's gonna go. He's just gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got plenty of movement left, even.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna thwack it with the axe. And as he does so, we'll do a reckless attack. Why not? He says some quippy line. He's like, "So you shouldn't have messed with the lumberjack," because like a lot of his like the people from his village are probably like lumberjacks and shit, right? Like, so they have axes, you know.
I'm a tree surgeon. I'm putting on a clinic.
It's a hit, it's a kill, the fight's over, the fight ends. That's the fight, that's the ending blow of the fight, the ending occurrence of the fight, and it's canon.
Is the troll still on fire?
Oh yeah, that troll's gonna be burning for a while.
Okay, can I cast Ray of Frost on it to put the fire on?
Yeah.
So we don't accidentally burn down the forest.
Yeah,
It's like
good idea.
It's like a tire fire. Where it's just...
Yeah, basically. The Iranian tire fire. Alright, and I think that's a good place to end off today's session. Well, I don't think it's a good place after Snow's moment, but it's a place. And it's where we're ending. It's a dark mark against this whole series.
He's still working on the one-liners, okay? It's good.
You don't start off being a Duke Nukem. You gotta warm up to it. Okay. That's the end of today's session. Before we go, and before I do even the spiel about Patreon and all that stuff, but that's a little sneak peek, we're going to talk about what you guys are working on and what you've got going on, starting with Zach.
I am actually, as soon as I end this call, jumping into another call with another game where I'll be running a Pathfinder 2e one-shot in my homebrew world. We're going to be recording that tonight, and I'm going to be uploading that to YouTube later on this month. So that's what we're working on tonight.
Nice. All right. Poetry.
Yeah, so I do a lot of variety streams. I'll probably do something later tonight. But also on Sundays, I actually also run a game on my Twitch channel. And last session, they had a big boss fight. 2 sessions in a row, they actually had a big boss fight. Because the second one was kind of unexpected, even for me. But yeah, my party's basically now gonna wander off and do whatever. I'm not sure what. So yeah.
All right. AJ.
I do art. I will probably be trying out a lot more in the next time. You can find my Twitters up there somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, come check it out.
There's a lot of outer hard art, and it's getting, more complete each time. I like it. And Quill.
Hey, I'm just shit posting as usual. The only extra different thing that might be happening is this Friday coming up, I might be doing a stream with Gianni Matrograno, the meme man himself, and Tastraws, one of the other grifters, and some other peeps, doing the Last Wish raid in Destiny 2, where we're gonna have no clue what we're doing, and we will just die over and over again, but it'll be fun.
Do you just have a Destiny 2 raiding group that's just voice actors?
Well, we have like shit about and done dungeons and stuff together, but like we've not done a raid before, and it's the best way to describe it is because I thought I vaguely know what I'm doing, so I'll be a little more confident. And Johnny was like, no. Me and Tash will be confident. We'll just die confidently. It'll be fine.
All right. And then there's me. And also there's Ori, by the way. Ori isn't here today because Ori is unwell, but if you need art commissioned, you should definitely check out Ori. Ori is an amazing professional artist and is always worth commissioning. Then there's me, who is also a D&D artist. I actually am doing commissions at the moment between other things. We stream here. There's this show. This show is supported by Patreon. If you support a Patreon for $5 or more a month, you get access to the Mondays show, which is the Thieves campaign. Which is a great time in a completely different part of the world, and there's a whole backlog of other content. If you like this world, if you like this storytelling, there's also a backlog of content on YouTube, such as the other series of this for a whole bunch of new followers and people that I'm glad to see today. If you're interested in the way I do things, there's a lot of it, and there's other content that comes out in the setting as well, including board games, maybe even some video games, etc., etc. Which I work on. But right now, most of my other streams are Atlas Roleplay with Darkside RP. I am the Minister of Culture for France. We are doing a lot of streams of that. Tomorrow is Market Day, so I'm going to be helping run Town Market. I basically just have like a 9-to-5 job now, where in Atlas. So if you like kind of hanging out and doing all that sort of thing, it's very chill, it's very fun. So please join us for the rest of the stuff. If you want to know what we're doing, follow on Twitter or Discord. Join Discord where I sort of say what's going on a little more clearly. And that's where we're going to leave you this time. We won't be here next week. But we should be around the week after that. And we're going to say thanks for all the patrons for now. I'm going to see you the next time. Bye.